Coming up on Carolina Week, public transportation is vital to thousands of Carolina students and staff. But what happens when you can't rely on the service to get you where you need to go on time?
Are social media outlets using the microphone on your cell phone to find out more about you? We'll take a look.
And we'll introduce you to a young cancer survivor who is turning his experience into political action. All of this and more at Carolina Week
starts right now.
From the UNC School of Media and Journalism, covering Carolina in HD, this is Carolina Week.
Late for work and late for class. Complaints about coming in Chapel Hill Transit's unreliability. Good afternoon, I'm Tiara Marsh.
And I'm Bailey Ingalls. We'll have that story in a minute, but first an update to last night's breaking news. Police are still searching for a man they say assaulted and robbed a female student on campus Tuesday night. The incident happened near the Old Well shortly before 10 p.m. A female UNC student told police she was walking with a friend when she was approached by a man who assaulted her and took her purse. He then fled in the direction of Franklin Street. Police described the man as a 5'10" with a slim build. He was wearing a black zip-up jacket, blue jeans, and a black hat.
Thousands of people rely on Chapel Hill Transit, but for some, recent delays have made commuting frustrating. Reporter Donnie Holloway looked into this issue and joins us live from Franklin Street to tell us more. Donnie?
That's right, Tiara. Many people use Chapel Hill Transit to commute to and from work as well as class and to get around town. And it's something that many people are complaining about.
Alex Perdue is a senior at UNC. He says that the buses in Chapel Hill have caused him to be late to class multiple times.
It's just the fact that some of my professors question why I'm late sometimes, and having to address those issues when I already have, a ton of work to do on top of that is kind of, it just adds to the frustrations.
Brian Litchfield is director of the Chapel Hill Transit. He says that they are working on ways to address issues, including delays.
Anytime there's delays or something like that occurs, we review it and take steps to address it.
Litchfield says that it's not always the driver's fault and that other factors can cause delays.
Some of those things are, traffic accidents, detours, or other things that are generally outside or maybe outside of our control.
Chapel Hill Transit monitors each trip for on-time performance and is currently in the process of hiring more drivers.
As a regular rider myself, it's something I know it's incredibly frustrating to stand there and wait for a bus at a specific time and for it not to show up regardless of what that reason is. So
it puts me at a disadvantage, but also my professors, because I need to be there on time and in class.
As for Perdue, he doesn't have time to file complaints, but hopes that Chapel Hill Transit will take his concern seriously.
As a full-time student with a full course load and 3 jobs right now, I don't really have time to be making those calls.
If you want to share your concerns, Litchfield says the best way is to get in contact via email.
And that email ischtransit@townofchapelhill.org. And as we were standing by for this report, we actually timed one of the arrivals of the buses and found that it did arrive on time. One thing that the Chapel Hill Transit director encourages you to do is to download the TransLock as well as Next Bus apps in order to ensure the most accurate arrival times. Tiara?
Donnie Holloway reporting live from Franklin Street. Chapel Hill Transit recommends that riders include the routes that you've experienced issues on when sending your comments.
One of the most popular transportation in Chapel Hill is simply walking. And at night, that's not always the safest option. But reporter Campbell Payne introduces us to some new phone apps that could change that.
It's 8:50 p.m. UNC senior Mary Slade Duke walks outside, locks the door, and activates LiveSafe before walking to the library.
Being like the short, 12-year-old looking girl walking home alone.
Being only 5 foot tall, Duke has always been wary to walk alone.
Somebody approaches you, especially somebody like me, it's kind of scary.
Randy Young works with the Department of Public Safety, which created the LiveSafe app to make the campus police more accessible to students.
Just having these tools available, whether they're used or not, is one of the goals. I think really when you're talking about personal security, it has to work for one person to be effective.
These tools, in addition to the virtual walking feature, include a button for reporting tips, calling 911, and for messaging the campus police directly within the LiveSafe app.
The challenge really is that, particularly in this age of social media, is keeping up with the latest advancements. I mean, you can't throw anything out. Basically, a kind of one-stop shopping for safety and security now.
It's such a nice tool to have like at your disposal. I mean, you can just turn it on and then walk home with it. It's nice to have eyes on you.
Having this tool, Duke now says she feels more comfortable that she'll make it home, even if she's walking alone. In Chapel Hill, I'm Campbell Payne, reporting.
Live Safe is available to download for free in the App Store.
More perpetrators of sexual assault are facing consequences for their actions, but experts say that punishment is not always enough to keep it from happening in the first place. Reporter Alexis Bell has more.
Matt Lauer, Teddy Davis, Charlie Rose, Harvey Weinstein, Kevin Spacey, Louis C.K., and Matt Zimmerman are all men recently fired, suspended, or let go because of accusations of sexual misconduct or inappropriate behavior. Director of UNC Hospital's Beacons program says the number of alleged harassers being held accountable is unprecedented.
The message that's going out to women as well as young girls, which is important, is that this is behavior that's no longer being tolerated in certain parts of society.
Orange County Rape Crisis Center Community Education Director says this does not come without costs.
But it also means that survivors are exposed to content about sexual violation in places where they didn't have to think about it.
Experts say making progress means taking a proactive approach to sexual harassment, which includes teaching young people about sexual harassment prevention. I'm asking UNC students if they were taught sexual harassment prevention before coming to college.
Not really, no.
Yeah.
No, I was not.
No.
Yes.
Accountability supports prevention insofar as it gives us something to point to. I think it's a really difficult sort of foundation to present when people sexually abuse, sexually assault, sexually harass all the time and in fact are rewarded for their behavior. They can be elected to the highest office in our nation.
We need to have a whole societal, kind of shift to say, this is not okay. Start teaching our young men differently.
And until that societal shift, places like the Orange County Rape Crisis Center are educating pre-K to high school students to prevent sexual harassment. In Chapel Hill, I'm Alexis Bell, Carolina Week.
The Orange County Rape Crisis Center also offers resources for survivors who may be struggling and can be reached online or by phone.
The former UNC student accused of planting an explosive device at the Davy Poplar tree has been released from jail on a $1 million bond. 25-year-old Joshua Edwards is being charged with 6 felonies, including assault with a deadly weapon. He'll face 8 to 10 years in prison if he's convicted of all charges. A grand jury will decide if there's enough evidence to proceed in the case. They'll announce their decision on January 9th.
Asian Americans on campus say they feel underrepresented from the lack of resources the university provides. Reporter Hannah Lee joins us live from North Campus to tell us more. Hannah?
Asian Americans represent the largest minority group on campus, yet they have almost no opportunity to study their own culture, and many at UNC say that is unacceptable.
This is the Asian American and Pacific Islander Working Group. They're here today because UNC lacks Asian American studies, and it's becoming an issue.
The big problem is it's not just Asian Americans that need this education, it's all students. Because of the issues of ignorance around what it means to be Asian American and what Asian Americans have contributed to American society, there's a large ignorance about Asians in America in general.
The one bookshelf at Davis Library that's devoted to Asian American topics isn't enough for the 16% of the undergraduate population that identifies as Asian American. And next semester, there is only one course teaching Asian American topics, the place of Asian Americans in the U.S. South, taught by Dr. Jennifer Ho. Ho is the first Asian American hired in UNC's English department, and the first person university-wide whose research is solely Asian American studies.
Truthfully, I've had waves of undergraduate students who are Asian American activists coming to see me, taking my classes, talking about the push for Asian American studies. And what I've seen the university do, and this is a strategy that universities nationwide use, they wait. They wait because they know in 6 years students will forget that there was ever a momentum or movement to ask for Asian American studies.
The university knows Asian Americans are a significant portion of UNC's campus. So why do they keep letting it happen?
has to do with limited resources and a limited understanding of what Asian American Studies is.
On top of that, a department is about a $10 million investment. But many say that doesn't mean UNC should forget that Asian Americans have a right to their own education.
But Asian American students aren't empowered enough and don't have enough resources to even become activists. And so it takes so long for Asian Americans to even understand what it means to be Asian American.
UNC does have a Department of Asian Studies, but Asian Americans say this course of study is different when you study the Asian experience within American history. Tiara?
Hannah Lee, live from North Campus. Thanks, Hannah.
Coming up next on Carolina Week.
Marketers could be using your phone to learn more about you than you realize. And it all has to do with social media apps.
Well, Thomas, you've got pre-diabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have pre-diabetes. Big time.
I adopted Bento in 2010 from a shelter. As it turns out, we have very similar personalities. And this cat makes me make art because he's always motivating me to take pictures of him, to draw pictures of him. He just is motivating artistically. It's just that simple. Well, he's my best friend, but a lot of people know him as Keyboard Cat.
Here's to the things that can keep us safe. And now, those that we carry with us everywhere will bring us wireless emergency alerts. With a unique sound and vibration, you'll be in the know, wherever you are.
It's me, Artie. Come see what I collected from the Creative Galaxy in my idea box.
Transform your world.
Will you help me make art?
Each one of our journeys keeps us young. Before you throw it away,
Hey, I have an idea.
think outside the box.
We'll never get older. Each one Go be amazing!
Give your cardboard box another life. Recycle.
You may have noticed that while scrolling through social media like Instagram or Facebook, ads are specific to things you've searched or maybe even talked about. They're maybe a little too specific. Reporter Cheyenne McNeil has a story on why that might be.
UNC senior Hannah Lucero was on her way to Nashville for fall break the first time she noticed Instagram-specific ads. Things she and her friends had talked about started popping up as ads on their Instagram feeds.
We thought that either Instagram was reading our minds or that it could hear what we were talking about.
So, how is Instagram getting access to your private conversations? Associate Professor in the School of Media and Journalism, Lois Boynton, explains.
Why are they asking my permission? This permission allows us to use your phone's microphone to capture sound when recording a video. And that's the answer.
But what they don't tell you is that microphone access doesn't solely apply to in-app use.
Some of it is, I'm getting this service for free. I'm not paying money for it, but I am paying information.
Lucero says she Googled the app and saw other users had noticed the same thing. And after realizing microphone access was the cause, it became a bit too creepy for Lucero.
I switched mine off and now all of my ads are random.
Ad targeting. That is what's happening on Lucero's social media. And it's not just Instagram. Sites like Facebook also store information from your internet searches to help tailor ads. But is it ethical?
For some people it is deceptive because it's sort of a let the buyer beware type of a thing.
And though the lines on the ethics of target advertising may be blurry, Lucero says she still doesn't love the idea.
I can understand why they would do it because I guess it makes the ads like more relevant to you, but it seemed kind of creepy.
But for now, Instagram and Facebook users can still expect to see targeted ads on their news feeds. In Chapel Hill, I'm Cheyenne McNeil, Carolina Week.
Marketers say they believe that targeted ad tracking allows them to deliver ads for specific individual consumers, rather than delivering ads based on assumptions.
According to the Surgeon General, e-cigarette usage is up 900% among high school students since 2011. And it looks like college students are also joining in on the trend.
Oh, you just
it may look like a USB drive, but it's actually a Juul. Juuls, spelled J-U-U-L, are thinner e-cigarettes that can be charged in your computer. One concern is the device's level of nicotine. One Juul pod has the same amount of nicotine as one pack of cigarettes. Sometimes called the iPhone of vaporizers, Juuls are drawing customers based on their design.
So vaping is like big and clunky and trashy, has like the stereotype against being really trashy and you're like a dirt bag if you vape. But the Juuls are smaller and it's more socially acceptable.
Juuls profited $224 million this past year and is taking up 32% of the e-cigarette market share.
What should we expect before we leave for the holidays?
Meteorologist Alex Kement has the weather report after the break.
Connor is struggling in school.
Finding lowest airfare to Istanbul.
Why don't you understand me?
I do. This is what it feels like for kids with learning and attention issues. Redirecting to understood.org.
Look at you. You're at the top of your game. You're unstoppable. Nothing can throw you off track. Wait, is that your car? Uh-oh. Yeah, I saw that coming. That will throw you off track. You're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Yes.
Thanks for staying with us and welcome back. I hope you're enjoying your last day of classes out there. I'm meteorologist Alex Kement, and a couple things to talk about. It's cloudy and cold outside. When will the snowflakes fly and what to expect for your weekend ahead? Take a look at this viewer picture. This picture was taken this morning. Cloudy skies, and that's the story for the rest of the day and tomorrow. But the cool thing about this picture is you see these ridges in the sky here. These are gravity waves, and they happen all the time, but it's really neat when they happen in the cloud base, and you can actually see them in motion. It makes it look like you're underwater looking up at the surface of the ocean. Moving forward, the satellite image, you can see that there's clouds from the central southern plains all the way across the southeast, and that's going to be the story for the next few days as a series of low pressure systems are lifting and causing those clouds and bringing us a little bit of rain. Still a chance of rain as we go into the overnight hours. Down south of us is the low pressure system that caused a few showers to move through late last night and potentially still allowing the shower, or potentially still bringing us some showers as we go into today and overnight hours as well. Currently 46 degrees outside, cloudy with a chance of showers passing by, so if you see some raindrops, don't be surprised. Winds north-northwest, 5 to 10 miles per hour. It's a bit chilly right now, and normally we'd be on the rebound, but our high actually happened around 2 a.m. this morning, and you can see with the breakdown, here's 8 p.m. yesterday, and you can see that North Carolina was still in the 60s with this warm yellow here. 2 a.m. this morning, still rather warm, even into 8 a.m. this morning, but you can see that stark gradient of color when that front moved through and that cold air settled in. Shortly after that, the temperature dropped quite a bit. So if you left out this morning, it was much warmer than when you left out again later on this evening. And this is going to be what I have for you for the next week. Highs in the 40s and lows in the 30s and upper 20s. Here's Thursday, much of the same with the 40s here. And slowing this down on Friday so you can see we do have a chance of snow moving in. Nothing high impact, but definitely something to expect here. Here's the freezing line here, and this is the difference between the non-freezing and the freezing temperatures. And as this moves closer Friday evening, depending on how high that cold air starts, it's depending on whether we'll see rain or snow on Friday. 2 p.m. Saturday, you can see we've rebounded into the 40s and we start to dry out. So nothing really heavy to expect to stick around for that snow system. Sunday, much of the same in the 40s, and Monday and Tuesday as well. Tuesday, we almost flirt with the 50s before our next bout with cold air moves in on Wednesday with a high of only 38 degrees. So definitely some chilly weather in the days to come. Tonight, though, we'll drop down into the upper 30s, cloudy skies with a chance of showers. Keep those light winds around. And the surface map tomorrow, you can see that low pressure system that brought us that rain's moved offshore. However, we're still cloudy in our area. And back to the west here is the little bit of disturbance. And this is going to move to the east and bring us that potential for rain early Friday, transitioning into snow flurries on Friday evening. Tomorrow's breakdown, 8 a.m., 40 degrees. 48 by noon, warming up, and then 46 by 5 p.m. Cloudy from start to finish, so much of the same today. And then a future cast for Friday. This is 2 a.m. to 8 p.m. on Saturday, and you can see that brief chance of rain moves through rather quickly. So nothing major to expect there. And we expect those showers the snow showers to start showing up around 4 o'clock as we drop into the 30s. And for your 5-day forecast, you can see we have that 80% chance of snow on Friday. Chilly nights to come, and we finally see the sun again on Saturday into Sunday and Monday next week.
All right, so looking forward to the potential of that snow. Thank you so much, Alex.
I know you love your Uggs.
Coming up on sports, the men's soccer team is headed to the city of brotherly love.
They want to send Indiana to the pit of misery. Philly, Philly!
I was 0.5 credits away from completing high school, and I didn't do it. My support team never stopped pushing for me to be better because they knew who I could become as a person. I've been given an opportunity, and I'm just thankful for it.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
It's a short ride from your neighborhood to your naturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
Welcome to Carolina Week Sports. I'm Paul Beam. The men's soccer team is headed to Philadelphia for the NCAA College Cup, and they'll take on number 2 national seed Indiana on Friday night for the right to advance to the national championship game. The Heels will have their work cut out for them. The Hoosiers haven't lost a game all year, coming in with a record of 17-0-6. The strength of Indiana is their suffocating defense. In 23 matches, the Hoosiers have only given up 6 total goals. Trey Muse starts in goal for IU and sports an astonishing save percentage of .906. Muse has also posted 17 clean sheets this year, matching Indiana's 17 wins. That means if the Heels can get past Muse, their chances of winning increase dramatically. The other side of the bracket also features 2 seeded teams, number 9 Stanford and number 5 Akron. Stanford defeated the Heels in penalty kicks in last year's national semifinals, so you know Coach Samwano and company would love a rematch. From headers to the hardwood, the women's basketball team won its 5th straight game with a 91-56 victory against the Presbyterian Blue Hose on Tuesday night. The Heels knocked down a season-high 12 three-pointers, including this cherry bomb from Jamie Cherry. Paris Key had another outstanding night with 23 points and 7 assists. And Jalen Murray had 10 points, including this strong finish. The Heels shot 56% from the field and led by as many as 36 points. This game was really never in doubt. Carolina plays Furman on Sunday at 2 p.m. in Carmichael Arena. UNC recently received a gift of personal records from Coach Dean Smith. The collection donated by his family includes over 12,000 items, including photographs, letters, and newspaper clippings. Visitors can look into the personal life of the world-famous coach in Wilson Library. Our Donnie Holloway spoke with the university archivist about the gift.
I think that this is going to be interesting and valuable for anyone interested in learning more about Dean Smith as a person. His coaching life is well documented, but this really, sheds more light on his personal life.
Paul, Dean Smith is obviously known as one of the greatest coaches of all time.
That's very true.
So what do you think the odds are that Roy Williams gets some type of archive like these?
I think at this point, Roy is going to have his own library. Not just a couple archives, he's going to have a library.
If we get one more national championship, that might happen.
For sure.
Thanks, Paul. Coming up next, he beat cancer and now he's taking on Congress.
How a 9-year-old boy is fighting to make childhood cancer a national priority.
Open up your books to page 360.
Did you just look at your phone while you was in class? You played yourself.
Talking about inspirational quotes.
You gotta believe in yourself. Don't ever play yourself. The key is to make it, so make it.
Louise, can you give me an example of an inspirational quote?
Don't play yourself. The key is to make it.
And who said that?
I did. Now that's a major key alert.
Learn the real major keys to getting to college at getschool.com.
I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous.
Here's a story that will tug at your heartstrings. A 9-year-old boy who beat cancer is now giving back.
Carolina Week reporter Jarrett Corder brings us the story.
Meet Scotland Festy, a boy who's faced more obstacles in his 9 years than most face in their lifetime.
I was diagnosed with ALL, or acute lymphoblastic leukemia, when I was 3 years old.
Scott went through 3.5 years of chemo. He took more than 1,500 pills, and now almost a year and a half after he was declared cancer-free, he's healed, healthy, and helping other kids.
A lot of kids that we've had didn't make it through treatment. And so I went to Congress to let Congress know that childhood cancer is the #1 disease killer in kids in the U.S.
For Scott and his friends, the hope is clear. They want Congress to pass the STAR Act that would increase funding for pediatric cancer research and child-focused treatments. As a 9-year-old diving into the world of politics, Scott has a simple message.
I went to Congress because I wanted them to all know that it's not like a Republican versus Democrat issue. It's a children's issue.
Scott has spent the last year regaining his strength by running triathlons and playing sports with his brother Nick. Nick says it's a dream come true to see Scott healthy again.
During Thanksgiving, we would have the wishbone, and my wish would be that he would not be diagnosed from cancer anymore. And eventually that came true.
Scott now hopes to pass that same wish on to others. In Cary, I'm Jarrett Corder reporting.
Scott has gone to speak to Congress every year since being declared cancer-free, but says he doesn't get nervous because in the grand scheme of things, he's been through much worse.
Tiara, I think it's so amazing that a 9-year-old kid has been through so much already, and he's so well-spoken.
Right, and I'm over here stressing and complaining about finals, but there's clearly so much more to be grateful for.
Definitely. That does it for this edition of Carolina Week.
Thanks for watching. Good night.